Thank you. I think Matt and I had the easiest assignment. There's such a wealth of material when you talk about mistakes. Let me begin by adding my applause to the organization for its ability to not only preserve, but I think to really escalate the wonderful culture and spirit that's always personified this organization. I want to talk about not 3 single mistakes that I've personally made, but to talk about sort of patterns, because I think that's maybe where we would learn the most. The first pattern of mistakes that I've seen in my own career has been not choosing partners that had precisely the same vision of the future that I did. And this isn't to say that these weren't wonderful people, but I was not careful enough in sort of making sure that we were aligned. And so my message, I guess, to all of us is think hard about the people you end up being officially partners with or to whom you give large equity stakes in your business. Many of you know that I was involved in the sale of a company called Zenger Miller. Was that a mistake? I would say it was for me personally, but it wasn't for the 2 people who were my partners. It was what they wanted to do. But it was my mistake in not having really found that out early on, that what they wanted was somewhat different than what I wanted in the long term. The second mistake that I think is a pattern that maybe is useful to just identify, and that is confusing hope with predictable reality. Many of you know that I was involved in an organization called Provant. Provant was a very daring and bold attempt to merge 21 companies in this industry together and create a publicly traded company. Now, why somebody didn't say, as we were beginning this, why don't you merge 2 or 3 and see how that goes? And see if they really do sell each other's product. See if there really is synergy between them. See what really does happen when you combine these organizations. Because what had worked very well in different industries didn't work in the training industry for a variety of reasons. It was like merging religions. I mean, it was really kind of very, very difficult. And I think another example of that is many of us, I think, have seen situations where we come up with a sales forecast for next year. We then ramp up our expenditures to sort of replicate or parallel that sales forecast, which doesn't become a reality. And then we're in real trouble. And probably the most painful experience of my life in this industry was in the year 1985 when we went beyond our headlights and had to lay off people. And that was an experience I said, I will never do that ever again. And so I think the ability to kind of make sure that expectations don't kind of run too far ahead of reality. The third mistake that I would talk about is a much more mundane one that you can all identify with, but I just want to talk about it. And that is the ability and the willingness to step in and correct mistakes that you make when you choose the wrong person or put the right person in the wrong job is something which I think is just a mistake that it's so easy to keep repeating. I don't know about you, but my experience has been you hire a new salesperson and within 5 or 6 months, you know whether this is going to work or not. But it takes you about a year to make the decision to, okay, so I made a mistake. It's painful. We're in the people business. We're by nature humanitarians. How do we get ourselves out of that? So those would be the 3 patterns of mistakes that I would just observe and hope that they may be useful to you to think about.